Podcast.
What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Cities of Signal, which you're desperate to paint, and it comes with dogs. You've let yourself down.
I have let myself down. I see myself out.
Get out of your own
Get
house.
out of my own house. Don't come back. While I'm out, can you paint my Darth Vader for me?
Is it a fail to buy 3,500 points of Luminaire with no real intention to paint them? Probably.
As I say, why are you asking?
I was thinking the best I could come up with was, I am your father, Christmas.
Hi guys, welcome to, we think it's episode 10 of the Sprue Goons Podcast with me, Dickie, and my hobby co-host, the porn star of plastic, Darren. What do you think of that one, porn star of plastic? I just thought of it. So, I don't know what that implies you do with plastic.
Yeah, I don't know really, I mean...
Anyway, how you doing? You alright?
Yeah, sort of bit, blindsided by that.
Well, you know.
I'm alright. Yeah, we've got a bit to catch up on.
Yeah.
We've been looking into new systems.
As usual.
So nothing changes.
How you been? What you been doing hobby-wise? Anything exciting?
So been doing a few sort of clean-up projects really. Sort of getting a few bits done. Finished like a Stormcast, matte varnish, did some videos. But the main thing I've been doing is looking into building a small skirmish Legion army.
Excellent.
Sort of off the back of our last conversation, but it was really, so I put a load of stuff that was in my wardrobe on eBay.
Oh, the Shadow Collective.
Yeah, I've got like an A5 speedy truck, loads of other kind of model bits that I bought at the time thinking, oh yeah, you know, it's cool to have them, like I might put them in my Rebel army, and yeah, just never got around to it. And Shadow Collective, we bought a Warfare last year.
With grand intentions of, this is it, the next army.
With Gar Saxon as well. And I'd never really, we've been looking at it.
Yes.
Thinking, nah, not really interested in Shadow Collective.
No.
Bit, you know.
Doesn't
bit
really,
dead.
we don't really like the theme, not really a bit of
No,
us.
No. And then, sort of looking into it, started looking at like the cards and the models for the Super Commandos. Yes. And because I got Gar Saxon, had a cool idea for doing his model where I've shown you with the like a
behind a rock.
Yeah. So it's as per usual for me. I've done him unhelmeted, but he's got his helmet on the base, sort of like resting on the rock. So it's sort of like, it's not like a diorama, but my aim was like a sort of a moment in time.
Yeah, it kind of
so it's like
tells a story.
He's seen something in the distance, he's taken his helmet off, he's got his sniper rifle out,
Yeah.
and he's like, right, you know, he's resting up.
Yeah.
So I think that's my aim for that model at least. And I think, so if we looked at a list where if I use the Super Commandos, it's like a really elite list of Mandalorians.
Yeah, not very many activations, wasn't it? Like 4 or 5, depending how you equip them. But they're brutal. They are brutal. They are basically, they're Mandalorians that follow not Darth Maul, just Maul. After the fall of Mandalore, he takes over the Mandalorians because he wins the Darksaber, and he takes over, and they basically follow him. So it's almost they're like a Mandalorian Death Watch, they're called. So Star Wars lore, that's what they are. But they're really cool, and we've sat on them for literally months, nearly over a year, I think.
Yeah, over a year. Yeah.
And not really even thought about using them because we were like, no, I don't like the mercenary units, but they look absolutely brilliant. I'm almost a little bit jealous. I'm like, oh shit, if Darren doesn't like it, I'll do it.
Yeah, because it's an evil army as well.
Yeah, I like the Mandalorians obviously, and then I love the idea of it, but I didn't realise you could pretty much make an army around them. Yeah. Which is something we didn't with skirmish. You only need one core in skirmish. So we're talking about Legion, like people know if you don't know the rules, it means nothing to you. But also another one, speaking of Legion, which is a bit dodgy for me, is I've realised the battle forces that AMG have released, and you can make themed armies, and one of them they've released is a Wookiee army. So you can have Wookiee Chieftain or Chewbacca as your leader, or Yoda, right? And then you can have an army of Wookiees based in the defence of Kashyyyk from the Clone Wars, where they've, that's very tempting. And it wouldn't be too hard to paint. The
No.
rookies, it's just fur, a bit of gore grunter. You'd have a bit of gore grunter on them.
Bit of gore grunter, yeah. Or you could, I mean, even if you kind of zenithalled it, brown and then,
They look great.
I know Colourfuls do like their zenithal packs. Yeah, so they do like a dark brown, light brown.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, like sprays that you can buy.
Yeah, so you buy 3 sprays.
Yeah.
And the idea is you go, bang, bang, bang.
Didn't know that.
They are. So that's then your base. You wouldn't need to contrast it.
Yeah.
You then build up like your highlights and wash it. And
just good marketing, really.
Yeah, minor gripe.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah, I feel like we need to unpack that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it might be a good idea.
So, we went to Selwig, which is a model show, North London, and we were talking to a guy about Song of Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
And it looks like a brilliant game.
It does.
We feel like sort of arseholes talking about it, but this guy must have said like 3 or 4 times when he was explaining like what the game was to us, and he explained it really well.
Yeah,
which I feel bad.
I was genuinely interested. I feel like you and John were a bit like looking around the seating. I was like, this sounds really good. I'm genuinely interested. I'm not sure if we've told this story before, but I think just say it again anyway.
But yeah, basically this guy said, yeah, well, it's good marketing, really.
Yeah.
About 12 times.
Yeah. And my only gripe with it, we were like, I was genuinely... So when we walked away, I was like, what do you think, guys? And you two were just absolutely ripping him a new one about my only marketing. I was like, I thought it seemed like a really good game.
So yeah, just sort of to kind of sum up, it's just been a bit of a phrase since.
Yeah.
So that was kind of in, what was it, like October, November time. And yeah, like Dickie will roll like 4 ones. He'd be like, yeah, it's good marketing, really.
Yeah, my only gripe. Thing is, as you'll probably come to realise, we're arseholes. We're not very nice, really. So we're just not very nice. But yeah. Anyway, sidetrack slightly there. What else have you been up to? You've got those cases you want to mention.
Yeah. So I met the guy at Warmag. They do magnetic model cases at Warfare. We kind of got talking, and he got in contact like about a week ago and said, like, do you want to kind of review the cases? And what he doesn't know about my private life is I haven't got a decent case.
No.
And I come over every week with like an Underworld case.
Trying to
sort of
cram as many models as you can in this tiny little Underworld case.
So yeah, and I suppose it's kind of like other stuff that we feel like we can promote. It's a case of like, do we actually like the product? Is the product actually working for us? And that one is one where I was like, 100%, because the case looks brilliant, and because we do Legion and it's like a smaller army, it's perfect for like one army. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a small army. Obviously, they do bigger cases, but the cases that he sent, I've got my whole Legion army in there, and it's all magnetised, and it is so much better. You can. I mean, it's all just in there. So you pick a list out. Okay, I want to take that. Put it back in afterwards. You haven't got any worry about like scuffing the models, breaking the models.
Well, like you said, as you're playing, something dies, chuck it straight back into the case, magnetic.
Yeah.
So it just stays in there, done, packed away as you go.
And so the only thing was
my only gripe.
I mean, it's good marketing.
It's good marketing.
My only gripe, is now they do. I know you mentioned it, but they did send some of the magnets. So they've got like the magnet, and they've got like a bit of foam. So there was ones that you can put inside.
Under the base.
Under the base.
Yeah.
So it then sits flush.
Yes.
So you don't see it.
Yeah.
But the ones I've got on my Legion, like, go on the bottom of the base. And I think it's sort of just we'd say about, we're being a bit of a tart.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the only reason I wouldn't like that is just because it makes the model slightly higher. You can see the kind of where it breaks with the magnet. But
could you not paint it so it matches the base room colour?
Yeah, you can paint. That would definitely help. Although it's pretty much, if you do your base rooms black. If you do it still Legion Drab, then you've got a problem. But I do like how it makes the model heavier.
Mm.
So sometimes when you're playing with like metal models, it's nice because they
feel tactile. Yeah, that's what I love about a metal model.
You're playing. It's almost like playing chess.
Yeah, nice.
Whereas when you're playing with like Legion, because they're small scale and they're plastic, they're so light. You knock them over really easily. Whereas when you get like a decent magnet on the bottom, they just move slightly nicer. Especially when you've got something like the T-47 airspeeder.
Well, it's little things like the scenery on a board. Like if you've got say for instance a stormtrooper and he's up the side of a rock or something, he keep toppling over because he's not. Whereas like with that bit of weight on the bottom, you can plonk it on the table and he's not going to move.
No.
So that's why I love metal models. You see, I love a metal model. But yeah, that's what have I been up to? Not a lot really. Just working on my Legion skirmish force. I finished a unit of 501st Stormtroopers. I've kind of painted, I used some of Darren's Dirty Down, Rust and Verdigris on the basis of my speed. I'm doing like as if they're flying over a pod racer, like a smashed up pod race. Bit of a bit of a nod to Anakin, the pod racing. So I've done that. It's a bit themed, a bit of like a scenic base, a big scenic base. But so I'm working on them. I've got another Vader and I've started toying with him, doing a bit of just slowly kind of chipping away at them. I'm in no real rush to.
You've done something on the base, haven't you, where he's kind of almost like where he's just dropped in from like a drop ship and he's kind of cracked the ground where his
floors all smashed out.
That was cool.
But I do have a bit of a story about my Darth Vader. I love my Darth Vaders.
Yeah.
So I've got two from Skullforge Studios. I've got two prints. One of them is him walking forward, like with his lightsaber down.
Yeah.
I love that pose. It's almost like a horror movie, where the killer's just slow. He knows.
Yeah, and like almost like when they drag their weapon on the ground. It's not on the ground. No, it's kind of like just.
It's like he knows he's going to get you, and when he gets you, you're in trouble. Kind of pose. I love that. It's a very simple pose. He's just walking forward, but it's so intimidating. So I've got that one, and I've got my new one where he's almost like he's got a clawed hand like down, and he's got his lightsaber up with his cape behind him. Again, he just looks like
menacing.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
But so basically, I couldn't decide which one I liked better. I think I mentioned to you. I was like, I like both, but I don't know which one I want to use for my new skirmish army. So I got my other one out of the cabinet, as you do. I'm standing at the window, looking at them in the light, holding both in each hand, thinking, contemplating life, and thinking, which one do
first world problem.
It's a massive first world problem. Which one do I prefer? Which one? Because I was thinking if I use my old one, who's walking forward, I could do a bit of a paint, do him up a bit with the paint job, do a bit more on him, go push him a bit further. I don't know how. I think I was twisting him, but the walking one slipped. Slipped out my fingers, hit the windowsill, and then fell onto the carpeted floor. I thought, that's all right. It's just bounced off the windowsill. It'll be all right. It's hit the carpet. My first worry was the lightsaber. Oh no, the lights, because it's resin. It's It can take a knock and a tumble, but if you're too rough with it, it can snap. Oh no, if the lightsaber's broken, that's going to be a real ball ache. Picked up, lightsaber's fine. Oh yeah. As I looked at him, the front of his foot has chipped off. Yeah, I know. I was like, how has that even happened? But it's disappeared onto the floor, and you know what happens when a bit of plastic or something falls onto the floor. It disappears into the void. Yeah. It's gone. I don't know where it is. So it's not the end of the world. It's just more of I've got to now get a bit of middle part and sculpt him a new front foot.
So which one are you choosing?
So I'm choosing the new one, funnily
That's
enough.
Weird.
Yeah, it's funny that. So I thought, I'll double down. So I've started painting the new one, but I'll show you. I'll show you off after the podcast. See what you think. It's repairable. It's fixable. It's just more of a. But I do kind of think eventually my old Legion army is going to be relegated into as I build up this skirmish force with the theme. I think eventually, but I'll get a Dewback, I'll get some more speeders, I'll get some shore troopers. Next thing you know, I've got 800 points in this.
The thing is, you've got 3 units of stormtroopers, which is sort of the bread and butter. So if you do that in the 501st, not to say that that's not exciting, but you've got a lot of the same thing to paint.
Yeah.
Then everything else is really exciting. So I might get a Dewback, I might get a scout unit, which is I know you don't use all the Scout Troopers, but you use
I do want a Sniper 501st Sniper. I'm kind of steal your idea, build a rock.
Yeah, fine.
For the Sniper to be... He's a lot lower than Gar Saxon, though. He's really nailed down to be a smaller rock. But yeah,
and I think it'll look a bit more realistic. I did try and make the Gar Saxon one look realistic. You know, like I was kind of thinking, you know, like Grand Canyon, that kind of where you do get those kind of
like
rock formations where they're just coming out of.
Yeah,
you know, it's not unusual.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my excuse.
No, it looks good. That's kind of, I'm going to steal the idea if I get a Sniper team.
I am going to paint him first and then put him behind.
Your life will be a nightmare if you try and paint him behind that rock. I can't remember if we mentioned it last episode, but Darren has got the Pro-Acryl Brilliant White that he's lent me for the Stormtroopers. Oh my god, I'm in love. I can't remember if we mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again.
I don't think we did.
But even if we did, it's an amazing colour. If you want a brilliant white, the consistency, it goes on, it comes out the pot smooth. Yeah. Smooth twat. It comes out the pot very thin. Yeah. So it's the kind of perfect consistency on your wet palette. It doesn't really need thinning down that much. It's really opaque when it goes on. It dries matte. It's a lovely finish. And it's so bright. I was comparing one of my new Stormtroopers to my old ones, and like you said, they almost look cream. Yeah. And that's using Vallejo white, not ice white or anything, cold white, just normal white. But it's so much so that I want to get some more of the range. Yeah. To see how they work. Because obviously it might be a bit of an anomaly. That one might not work as well. No. You know, in the other colours.
I know that we had heard good things about the white.
Yes.
But I would say it was the good things I'd heard was about the brightness of it.
Yes. So not so much the consistency.
If the consistency of the other colours are the same, then I'll definitely be interested.
Vallejo could be in trouble. For me anyway, because
although they don't do a massive range, do they?
No, and it's quite, being in the UK, it's quite expensive to get hold of, I think, compared to like Vallejo. And the only thing my only gripe, it's good marketing, but my only gripe is the way the bottle undid the lid. Yeah, it's a twist lid, so you twist it, pour a bit out, but it kind of, when you do the lid back up, you get like a blob of paint. So it sits on the top, so you have to keep wiping that off on the wet palette. That is my only gripe. But apart from that, no, it's an absolutely brilliant colour. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up really, doesn't it? It's not been I think with Christmas coming up, it hasn't been a super duper busy one for me, because it's kind of like, getting ready for Christmas.
No, I think we've got the giveaway being announced on Saturday.
Yes.
So that would have been announced by the time this episode goes out.
So congratulations, winner.
Congratulations, random winner.
Yeah. Whoever you are, well done. Your combat patrol will be in the post shortly.
We'll send you your Tau combat patrol.
Tau. God.
Oh, it's randomly selected someone who wants Tau.
Yeah, fine. Just to piss off Dickie.
Oh, go on, gut page.
Funny that. Thing is, if someone does win now and they want Tau, that's going to look awful.
Yeah, it will look awful. Yeah. Hang on. Fine. Oh, I didn't win because I picked Tau.
Yeah.
No, we'll do it. Put it in a random. Yeah, there's things that you can get where you just put.
Well, you've done it before, haven't you? The random generator thing.
Yeah, you put the posts in, and it will just randomly select a comment. So yeah, no, it's that'll be exciting to see. Almost feel bad because quite a few people have entered it that only one person's going to win.
Yeah, but we can't afford to 500 combat patrols.
Everyone gets one.
Yeah, I'm not buying a house.
Yeah. Yeah, Sprue Goons will no longer be a sort of.
Please donate to Sprue Goons.
Yeah. Yeah, only £80 a month for content. Yeah. Please enter our giveaway.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay then, right, so let's move on to the main topic, I suppose. So with 2023 coming to an end, we thought we'd probably have a bit of a retrospective. I suppose they're all doing it at the moment, all the people at this time of year. We need to do one of those posts as well. We do your face in the middle, and they do all you painted around the...
That's that thing that's what I was looking into when I sent you that thing last night.
Oh, really?
You know that it was our top 9
Yes,
posts.
Yeah. Ah.
But it said, it also came up with how many likes we've got in 2023, and it was 99,500 likes. Oh, yeah. And I think at that point, that's when I think God, I've spent a lot of time on Instagram.
God, I've wasted this year.
Yeah. God, I could have actually got something done.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, we just thought we'd look back over the year, kind of our whole hobby highlights, what we've enjoyed, what we haven't enjoyed, takeaways from it, things that have gone a bit wrong, which is probably going to be quite a big list.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, trying to go through the year. I suppose obviously one of the main highlights near the beginning of the year was our trip to Warhammer Fest.
Yeah, I think that's when I think of 2023 highlights. Without getting super specific, that trip
stands out.
Yeah, that was such a brilliant trip.
Not a hot take necessarily, but one of I would say probably the most controversial thing of the whole trip was the worst part of the trip was Warhammer Fest.
Yeah.
And that's not even saying that Warhammer Fest. No. I'm not going to go down that route of it was right and moaning. I think a lot of people or enough people have covered.
I'd say it was slightly disappointing. I wouldn't. Yeah, it wasn't. No. It wasn't bad. It was just. I suppose what we're saying is, it was sort of put into insignificance.
Yes, compared to what
we did previously.
But I think the problem from a lot of people, which again we're not going to go into detail about the whole problems with Warhammer Fest. It's been covered loads, but. I think because they bill themselves as the hobby, they are the biggest hobby company in the world.
Yeah.
You expect going to their show is going to be the best experience.
You're like, I want to come out having spent 200-300 quid and be happy with it.
Yeah.
I want a bit like when you go to Warhammer World.
Yeah.
They are so good at,
absorbing you in the hobby.
You feel like you're in a cult or something.
Yeah.
You walk into Warhammer World and you're like,
there is something.
Molest me and take my money.
Yeah. Hang on, what?
I think I'm not Warhammer World.
Where are we going after this? I do think they pump something in the air in Warhammer World, some kind of pheromone. As you walk in, I'm like, I need to spend money. I need to hand over the keys to my house to this company. It's something what they do when you walk in there. It's anyway.
But we didn't get that when we and it was I've never been to a Games Day, Warhammer Fest type event, Warhammer Games Workshop event. So as you guys know, I'm a bit of a GW shill.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah, it was annoying. It was annoying for me. It's frustrating because I went there thinking, make me spend money. I did enjoy the reveals. I thought that was quite cool. They've got like a little kind of auditorium, and that was quite a nice thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, it was, I don't know, there was just nothing there really. It was good to see Golden Demon, but
if you could get through.
Yeah, and the queues to buy anything were like 2 hours long. I don't know.
It was like Q Fest, that's what they were called.
Yeah.
I've been to Games Days in the past, and it paled in comparison to those. Those were, obviously it might be a bit rose-tinted glasses looking back on it. I know there was a lot of queues back then, but it was at the NEC in Birmingham. It was massive dioramas, gaming tables.
Yeah.
You could see Golden Demon. There was things going on. It was amazing. Obviously, I was a lot younger. I was a bit more, in the Games Workshop bubble back then. So maybe it seemed better. Yeah. But that's why, again, I think we should probably stop going on about Warhammer Fest. But yeah, that was that part. But I think for us, it was the whole weekend, wasn't it? So we went up. You, me, and my brother John. We went up. You drove, didn't you, up into Birmingham on Friday morning? That again, just 4 or 5 hours. No, it's more than that, isn't it? Like 6-7 hours in the car, isn't it?
Yeah, we went to Warhammer Fest. We went to Warhammer World on the way.
Yep.
And then we
went around the museum, looked around the museum, tried to find the assassins in the massive thing, which we didn't. We were going in. We are going to find these. That's it. We're going to find the assassins. That's it. We're not leaving until we find these assassins. We're going to get that model. Everyone says they can't find it.
That end diorama can't be that big.
Yeah, we're not going to. What's everyone on about? Yeah, we absolutely huge. We were in there for about 10 minutes. We were like,
it's not worth £9. I'm going.
Should we just go? So that
brilliant diorama though.
Oh, stunning. Yeah, but again, you're never going to find the assassin in that. It's stupid. It's a massive cityscape, isn't it? Like, I can't remember now. It's like Tyranids
There's
everywhere.
Like a huge cathedral at one end, and then sort of
You can't even see it, or it's so big. There's a walkway around it. Yeah. You're not allowed torches either, are you? You're not allowed torches or cameras.
Is that right?
I think it's pretty something like that where you can't,
Yeah, you're not allowed to actually look for it.
Yeah, we're not giving you £9. We make millions a year, but you will not get £9 out of us.
Here's 50 quid, can I have some plastic?
Yeah, porn style plastic. So yeah, we went to Warhammer World. We had something to eat there. We looked at the cabinets, went around the museum. I don't think we spent anything, did we? Because we were again at that time we were waiting for Warhammer.
Yeah, we were waiting to splash our cash. Yeah, and we didn't hold out for much longer because we were going to Manchester, obviously for Warhammer Fest. So we were thinking, we might go to Element Games, which is in Stockport, and then we sort of Googled, because I think I said something like, I'm sure there's an Element Games in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And obviously we were in Nottingham for Warhammer World. So yeah, I Googled it and it was like 9 minutes away. So long story short, we ended up splashing a lot of cash at Element Games Nottingham.
We passed
Osculith.
Yes, yeah.
Loads of paints, big wet palette.
Yeah, hobby stuff.
Dry brush sponges for £9.
Yeah, shut up. Still going on about that. I've still got them in my drawer. I've used one in a year.
I came across mine the other day. I've got about 10.
But parked in the dodgiest car park. I'm trying to think of things that would stick out. Do you remember that? Horrible. It stunk.
Yeah.
Like weeds.
I think there was someone pissing in the corner.
Yeah, that was me at one point. I think. I think I did, didn't I? I was like, well, I need a wee in this.
It's stunk a piss. Yeah. I'll have a piss in.
Yeah, well, why not? It stinks anyway. I might add to throw fuel on the fire, I suppose.
Pissing in the ocean.
Yeah, pretty well.
Literally.
So yeah, we went there. That was absolutely a tiny little shop, but it was like compared to the Stockport one. Yeah. But it was.
I prefer the Stockport one, but I think that's only just because
controversial. I think the Nottingham one had a better range of paints.
Yeah.
And stock, but the Stockport one's got the gaming tables. It's got more room to walk about. It's a better site, but I really liked the Nottingham.
Yeah, a lot more models in the Stockport one. And then we went to 7th City Collectibles.
Well, we weren't going to, were we? Like, let's just go. And then we were like, hang on, it's only 20 minutes out of the way. Basically, when that was actually really good. It was I always remember there's a car park next to it, but it's like on a bend, isn't it? Going up a hill. It doesn't really look like a model wargaming shop. You turn up, it just looks like an old building. But then you picked up some more Lord of the Rings there, didn't you? Picked up the Fellowship.
Yeah, more Lord of the Rings and I think some brushes and some tufts and things. And actually, strangely enough, when I went to Warfare and picked up my Grey Knights Combat Patrol last month, I bought it from 7th City Collectibles. They had They had a stand. That's where I got it. So I think they do quite a lot of shows as well. I think they were at UK Games Expo.
Oh, okay. That was a great shop. Yeah. Then what did we do from there? I think we just went straight to
Stockport. We had an Airbnb,
which was absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
My wife found that, and we were like, I said to her this year, so when we go to the Games Expo next year, can you please find us an Airbnb?
And if it's not 5 stars, then
if it's not like that one, you've let me down.
Yeah.
Divorce.
No, it was an absolute fine. That really nice little house, and then we got takeaway pizza. Then decided to go to Stockport.
No. Rewind that bit. We had a takeaway. We had our pizza. Me and John were sitting there. We've been on the road. Obviously, Darren's driving, but we've been on the road all day. We're all like, oh God, it's like 9:30 at night. Let's chill. Darren goes, oh, Stockport's only about 5 minutes away. Drive, right? Well, we could go and have a look at Element Games. Yeah, but we've already been to Element Games today, Darren. Yeah, but I might try and see if I can get. What was it? You were after something.
I was after a dry palette.
Yeah, a dry palette. I might go and try and get a dry palette. Do you want to go to Element Games again, Darren? Yeah, come on then. So, right, okay. So we all jumped back in the car.
Yeah.
Went to Tesco's. Got a drink or something. I can't remember. We got a drink or something.
Yeah.
It's like 10 o'clock at this point. They shut at like 10:30. We turn up at Stockport 10 o'clock at night. It's like, what are we doing here? So, well, we might as well.
Oh.
I think in the end, we blew all of our money before we'd even, most of our money before we'd even gone to Warhammer.
I think there's a post on Instagram where I put our haul, our pre Warhammer Fest haul. But I guess it was kind of lucky in a way because we didn't spend anything at Warhammer Fest.
To be honest, if I'd gone to Warhammer Fest expecting to spend all of our money there, which we did, I would have been disappointed.
Oh, 100%. Because you couldn't buy any Lord of the Rings or anything we bought. It wasn't there. So
we turned up, didn't we? And we saw the queue going around the Gold Demon, and there was one guy. We said, "Oh, what's the?" He's like, "Oh, no, this is the queue for the shop."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, I've been here for an hour. Half an hour. It's like a 2.5 hour queue to get to the shop."
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, you got your Tolgar there.
Yeah,
that was good. But yeah,
and then, that was sort of it. So yeah, that's definitely.
Didn't we go to Element Games after?
Yeah, I think so. But let's not go into that.
Let's not go into that. I think because we were so annoyed that it was rubbish.
Yeah.
I think I had a bit of a tantrum, didn't I? Well, I'd rather just go back to Element Games and be here. We can go to Element Games if you like. Right, let's go. We just went to Element Games and I don't know if we bought anything. I think it was more of a stamp your feet kind of.
Let's go buy some Legion.
Yeah, I think people there were annoyed. I think we turned up, if you remember, we went back to Element Games after, and a few people been like, "Well, I've been at Warhammer Fest and it was awful, so I just come in."
Yeah.
Well, so that's what we did. So in hindsight, it was an absolutely brilliant trip, but kind of for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. It was great, but we kind of went there for Warhammer Fest, but ended up going there for everything else.
Yeah.
And we did say the day before, didn't we? If we don't go to Warhammer Fest now, if we wake up in the morning and go home, it would have been a great weekend.
Yeah, it's still been great, yeah. And like for the fact that, we're sort of slagging Games Workshop off for not doing a great Warhammer Fest, but we did spend most of our money on Games Workshop still.
Oh yeah, no.
It was almost just annoying that they weren't, the stuff we wanted wasn't at Warhammer Fest.
Yeah, and it was more that I feel like the show was run poorly.
Yeah.
I think that is the main problem. It could have been, if it was a lot more, if it was organised better, it would have been a much better show. I know there was a few people that obviously wanted to get into the reveals that we managed to get into, which we kind of stumbled upon. We were like, "Oh, is this the queue for the reveal? We might as well get in it." We didn't even realise it was the queue for the reveals.
We sat there for like 2 hours and then they said, "Oh, you've got to get out now and then rejoin the queue."
Yeah. I was like, what?
That's why we were in it.
Yeah, which is why we didn't bother.
Yeah.
We didn't, but
anyway.
Yeah, so that was...
That's one highlight.
That was one highlight. It was a highlight. Overall, and it's one of those things you look back on and you laugh about it, I think. Yeah. You don't look back and go, "Oh, it was shit." Not. You look back, "Oh, do you remember Warhammer Fest? Oh, that was awful," but you kind of,
We always say, like, the worse it is at the time, the better the memory.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously there's been other shows we've done. Like we've done Sailweg, Broadside. You've done Games Expo and Salute.
Yeah.
Which again, you can...
Yeah, they were great. All good for different reasons, really. I met James at Asmodee UK Games Expo, which was really good to kind of talk to him, and
which will segue brilliantly into your next highlight, I suppose.
Our next highlight, which I suppose is our main painting project highlight
collab this year.
Yeah, which was getting sent the Marvel Crisis Protocol box set early to kind of paint up and build and paint up for it being released, really. And I think that was the first time where we'd pushed ourselves and really focused down and said let's get this done, because we'll come on to it.
I was going to say, focus is a key word for this year, I think.
Yeah, so that for me was we smashed it in about 3 weeks, and I think
loved it.
There were parts of it where it was a bit like, let's power on and get this done now. But it's a brilliant thing to have done. I think it's easy to kind of be in the situation and be like, "Oh, bloody hell, this is kind of, this is really tough," but you do look back on those things and think, "God, I'm so glad we did that." It
was quite good, like you said, because you had that project to work on, and like we said at the time, the models were great, the set is great. It's a shame we haven't played it, but we've got it all painted up. But it's kind of, it was nice to have that focus. Right, I've got 3 weeks to get this done.
Yeah,
you push everything else to the side and you kind of tunnel vision it. And it was great. I think I said to you, I kind of enjoyed having the focus.
Yeah, because I think it's so easy to procrastinate when you're when you're painting, and I know they talk about it on one of the latest episodes of Paint Perspective, but Joe said that it's almost like the more time you've got, the more chance you've got of not being motivated, because it's almost like you've just got like an abundance of time.
Yes.
So it's then hard, you naturally procrastinate, whereas this was a case of you haven't got time.
Yeah.
That's not what you've got. So it's a case of you've got to get this. Yeah, this is the goal, and there's no time to waste, and you know exactly what you're doing. There's no kind of I might do this or I might do that. A bit like me with building Gar Saxon.
Yeah.
I didn't really get much built. Yeah, because I was fucking around putting like a rock and like
a
helmet on the base, and I'll do this, and I'll build my Super Commandos, but I'll do them all in different poses because I want them to be slightly different. It's like, it's going to take you a fucking age to build it then.
I think as humans, we kind of like structure, and, we like kind of things we have to do. What's the word I'm looking for? Not structure. We like, we like
routine.
We do like routine. So when you kind of like you said, when you've got loads of time to do whatever you like I do it because I have a lot of free time normally during the day. I could do a bit of Legion, or I could, paint a bit of my Goblin, or maybe I'll build this. I think, no, if you like you, if I've got the evening, I've got 3 hours in the evening tonight, that's all I've got this week. Yeah. What am I getting done? Yeah. So that,
I think I do it because I only really get the weekends, to get some properly focused time in. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of that's taken up by Instagram, editing the podcast, that kind of thing, rather than painting. But I'll do it, I really should kind of get on and do that, but no, I should probably walk the dog, really, and it'd be good to get out of the house, and you kind of like it is, but you give yourself excuses like, actually I'm painting every day, I might have a go on the PlayStation, or I might do this, or I might, it's kind of like it's very easy for you to put those barriers. So having that Marvel Crisis Protocol project was a really nice, you get home and that is what you're doing. Otherwise you're just not going to get it done.
If I don't meet that deadline, I'm going to, not that AMG probably care too much, but we kind of felt obliged to be like, no, we're going to do this. They've sent us the core set, we want to.
And I think we felt like we'd almost be letting ourselves down if we, it was an achievable task. It's not like we were saying, right, we're going to paint 2,000 points in 24 hours.
It was 13 models and a fuck ton of scenery, which you did. But no, that was a highlight. I look back on that again. So, that was amazing that AMG sent us, this expensive core set to promote for them. That was a good highlight. Suppose you could mention the Instagram, as that's kind of your baby, but that's obviously been out. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this if that hadn't kicked off. But
so a massive highlight for me. It was hitting 10,000 followers. I mean, it wasn't really necessarily a goal, certainly not from the start, because as with anything like this, you don't really know what kind of support you're going to get. But I think from maybe like 2-3 months in, I started to kind of think, okay, like maybe, all this effort might kind of pay off. It's a case of just being like really consistent and like producing content, and people were enjoying what we were doing, so it kind of gives you that enthusiasm to carry on. And it's to kind of, sounds silly because there's James has mentioned a book actually before that's called Number Goes Up, and I think it's kind of about sort of the fact that the people are so obsessed with numbers and things like that, and it I think technically if you boil it down, it's just like, oh, people like me, but it's not that for us, because it's not kind of it's about our content and about kind of almost getting like recognition for that hard work that we've put in. So getting to the 10,000 point was, I don't know, just feels different.
It does feel it does. Obviously I'm involved in it, obviously, but nowhere near on the level that you are. It's your baby, but it does feel once you hit that 10K kind of mark, not that people don't take you seriously before, but it kind of feels like, oh, okay, you know, you've made a go of this. Yeah. It's actually, you know, people kind of set up a bit more and pay attention. Like, you know, again, you know, little things like we reach out to people in the past and they'd be like, no, sorry, we don't deal with content creators. We don't want to know, you know, but the same person you then reach out to when you hit 10K, they might not necessarily want to work with you still, but they're a lot more kind of, oh, okay, brilliant, yeah, we'll look into that. Thanks for reaching out. You know what I mean? It's like almost.
Yeah, and I think we're quite. I'm kind of blow my own trumpet, but I think we're like, we're not really in it to kind of reach out to people and say like, oh, please give me your free models, and please, you know, it's. I want to promote things that I'm interested in, and having like an audience to promote that to, and do like, it's all about like creating cool content around it. So like with the plastic boxes, you know, I don't just want to say like, oh, give me some free plastic boxes and I'll just do like an unboxing. You know, my followers will love that. It's like, they won't though, will they? You know, do a funny video, do something that actually helps people.
Break a Stormcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, break a Stormcast, which was quite therapeutic.
That's something you like that. You get out of here. No, Darren, stop stamping on it. It's
broken. Models breaking your cases. I'm like, what? Hang on, that doesn't make sense.
My wife was like, did Darren mean to break that model? I was like, oh yeah. We meant to break that model. Trust me, that's been a long time coming.
Yeah, there was a lot of malice in that.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
Oh. That's a shame.
Yeah. No, it had broken there before.
Break that one?
Oh. I knew it was going to break there, so yeah, that was first take.
Behind the scenes. Oh, whoops.
Oh. Yeah, but no, I mean, they're great cases, so...
Yeah, again, it's that thing like you said earlier, you want, it's something that you are interested in and actually genuinely have an interest in and a use for. You're like, I need a case.
Yeah.
Would you like to promote my cases? Let me look at your cases. Yes, I would, because like you said, I can show it off.
They solve a massive problem.
And for you, they look, and it gives me a cabinet space back.
Fine.
So I get a shelf for my cabinet I can fill with pointless models again that I'm never going to use or paint.
Yeah.
So obviously this as well, the podcast, that's a highlight. Obviously, definitely. You know, all 14 people that listen, but it's kind of, again, it's a bit like you said earlier with the whole kind of, we don't do it to, oh, please, you know, please give us stuff. We do the podcast because we kind of just enjoy sitting here and just...
It's an outlet for us, and I think we've had a couple of comments from people where, I guess, you know, without getting emotional, you know, they you know, they really find the podcasts like helpful for them in terms of like, be it either it's a bit of company like when you're painting, or you got going for a walk and like listening to us ramble on about random shit. You know, it's it is an outlet for us, but also, you know, ultimately it is for you guys. So yeah, it's a great thing to do, to say actually we'll dedicate this many hours. You know, realistically, you know, it's not something we have to do, but it's something we want to do. So, you know, we want to do it every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's that thing again that even if I know I always joke, oh yeah, all 10 people that listen. Yeah. But even if 10 people listen, I'm like, that's 10 people that have listened. It's not. We're not doing it to be like, oh, why have we got 3,000 people listening yet? What's going on?
And we did our Spotify. They send you like a podcast as Wrapped. And it said like, oh, you are the top podcast for like so many people. I can't remember how many it was, but you know, even to be the top podcast for any person is like, wow, that's crazy.
Who'd want to listen to this crap?
Exactly.
But what else? Well, let's think. I suppose as well, for again me going back to the whole hobby side, this year has been a bit of a turnaround for me in terms of my hobby setup. In that I've kind of, again, I know I probably get a bit of hate or disagreement for it, but I've kind of binned off Citadel paints. And I've gone down like drop a bottle route, Vallejo, AK, Scale 75, Pro Acryl now. Oh, Pro Acryl, they're on the radar. But I've kind of upgraded my space. I've got a nicer lamp. I've got shelves on the wall now for my paints. You know, it's all a bit more.
Yeah, it's a bit more serious.
Yeah, I say the word professional's a bit kind of.
No, I think I
won't say it's professional, but it's a lot more. Like you said, it's a lot more serious than it was last year when it was just.
And mine, I guess in the same way, we've kind of done it together in terms of getting a bit more serious. I think when we went to a couple of shows last year, and then the kind of going to like Warhammer Fest and Element Games this year, it's been a case of like, right, get the paint racks, I bought a proper desk, a decent desk and a nice cutting mat and a decent hobby lamp, and recently got a nice chair. It doesn't necessarily help, but I think it does help with that kind of like motivation to paint. If you've got a nice setup, don't have to be like pristinely, clear every time you go and paint, but I think it does give you a bit of heart to. I suppose it kind of depends what sort of person you are, because I know we talked before about, you could be painting in like an absolute shithole, but be an incredible painter and you'd be painting all the time. It's kind of what you like to paint in, but I feel like we're quite similar in that having a nicely organised hobby setup
makes me want to paint more.
Yeah,
especially if it's all clean. You're like, I want to sit down. But I think, it hasn't even got to be like, I've got a whole room dedicated to hobby. It can be just, mine is just a corner of a room. But that corner is, like you said, organised. It's got shelves, it's got a nice lamp, it's got somewhere I can listen to music or a podcast or watch videos while I paint. It's kind of a dedicated hobby corner. That's why I think it does help. It really does. But I'd say this year my kind of hobby setups have really leveled up, and also on that point I think I'm quite happy with my highlights in terms of like painting this year, in that I've painted like 1,500 points of Nighthorn. I painted a whole Star Wars Legion army. Started a second Star Wars Legion army. I've painted 2 or 3 Underworlds warbands. I've painted Saruman, which is again that's another thing I'd like to do. We've got lots of Rumble Slam teams that I've done. It's like there's been a lot of output this year. Yeah, again, where we've spoke about that, but the whole core set of MCP, which again isn't in the cabinet because it's hard to because it was. I think that would be a downside in a way, because it was like such a focused project. It was like almost a job in a way. Like I've got to get this done by the deadline. But when the deadline is met and you've done it, it's almost like, well, that's done now. Yeah, you get that not anticlimax, but that kind of post-show blues. Yeah, it's almost like when you go out and you're like, we're going to buy a new game, we talk about the system, we look into it, we discuss what we're going to buy, you go and buy it. It's almost like it's your little thing that you just, when you get given it, get this done in 3 weeks. Okay, it becomes more of a, job's a strong word, but it does become more like, right, I've got to get this done. So when it's done, it's almost like you have that detachment from it. It's not like your thing that you just, but MCP definitely. This year. But I feel like I've done a lot of painting this year. I think I've got quite a bit to show for it over the year. I think, but definitely. I don't know about yours as well. You've done all right. I think you're overly harsh on yourself.
I've done okay. I think it would be good for me to kind of do a list of what I've painted. But I feel like as the Instagram's got more serious, my painting output has definitely slowed. Yeah. Because I think I'm definitely, I know on the next episode of the podcast we're gonna talk about sort of our 2024 plans, and this is obviously a look back rather than a look forward. But I think my focus is going to be on like not necessarily solely content creation, but I'll be focused less on I need to paint this model so we can have a game, and more on I want to do about my kind of little short ideas and things like that. So I suppose in that sense that will kind of be twinning the fact that my painting output slowed with just kind of changing my approach. Obviously, we'll be painting stuff within 20, 40k and that kind of thing. But
I think that is kind of almost the content creator's curse, isn't it? In that, you're doing well on Instagram, and I know you've got plans and thoughts of maybe expanding on that. But that's great. Oh my God, we've got nearly 12,000 followers at time of recording, but I don't get a chance to paint because I've got to manage the Instagram. I've got to do
it's
videos.
a miniature painting.
Yeah, but I suppose, like you said before, in a way, that's kind of good. There's the two of us.
Yes.
Because while you're doing that side,
definitely.
Darren, I've just finished my Darth Vader. Darren, I've just finished this. Darren, I've done this. Oh, I've finished my, oh, great, I'll take it. I'll do some pictures.
Yeah.
It kind of, so you've almost kind of, I would imagine if you doing it on your own.
Oh, yeah, then it would be a lot.
You still get models on there, you still get painted, but it would be a case of, oh crap, I haven't posted a finished paint model in a month because I haven't had a chance to, that kind of thing. Definitely. But you would get there.
Yeah.
Trying to think anything else, any other highlights you can think of for the year?
I don't think so. I think that's kind of, again, obviously we've touched on different ones and then kind of
gone off on a tangent.
on a few. So I think overall we've probably covered the bulk of it, I'd say, in terms of highlights.
So we'll move on to some other parts of it, I suppose, in a minute. But
fun.
So I suppose that would be probably the main hobby highlights of the year. So moving on from that, on a contrast to hobby highlights, what would you say the hobby fails of the year have been? And I think there's been a few that I can think of. I'm going to go straight in with Star Wars Shatterpoint.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of almost like a failing of us.
Yes. Oh, yeah. This is no shade on Shatterpoint. No. I've heard it's a good game. I've heard it's a fun game. It was, you went to the Games Expo, didn't you? I couldn't make it because of real life commitments, as usual, bloody real life. But so you phoned me up, they've got Shatterpoint here, it's a really good price. I was like, we'll go in a house on that, we're going to get that. This is going to be, this is going to have this as our Skirmish Legion, and we've got Legion, and this is like the Skirmish version. So, and
get me the Dooku expansion.
Yeah, get me the Dooku expansion. Thanks for that.
As per usual.
He is painted.
He is painted to your credit.
But it's just kind of died out like a wet fire, isn't it? We just kind of...
I keep going back to, we needed to have a game. And I know we'll get onto that, because I think that's, for us, I think, for like painting an army or like a big project like that, we need to game.
Yeah.
Because it's essential.
But my counter to that point, on Shatterpoint specifically, is the rules... I think I've mentioned this before, but the rules I don't like.
Yeah.
Because the rule book, when it came out, I think I messaged you because I had the core set here, didn't I? Yeah. And I was looking through the rule book I thought, right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to spend the afternoon, I put the afternoon aside, cleared it with the boss. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to absorb this rule book, and then we can maybe next week have a game. So I sat down, started reading the rule book, and it was just crap. It was all over the place. Yeah. Things were worded wrong. And AMG did come out later and go, the rule book's wrong. And they've done like a PDF, so you can download the rule book like amended. But it's that kind of sour taste, you know what I mean? Like, this rule book doesn't make sense. And then I was Googling it, YouTubing it, trying to figure out and for me, for some reason, I think it's my own idiot brain. I'm not blaming AMG for it, but for me, I find the rules hard to digest.
Yeah.
Star Wars Legion, for instance, the rules like easy, got it straight away. Understood how they worked. Within an hour we were playing the game. Obviously there's always going to be little rules you're like, how does that work? Or let me look it up quick. But the bare bones rules,
it's relatively simple.
We understand the bare way. There'll be the odd rule that will come up, or the odd cover.
You'll be like, what does independent mean? Or things we don't
but you just quick look on the rule book and you find it. Whereas with Shatterpoint, for me, I found the rules to be hard to digest. And again, I'm not saying that's them, that's fully on me. But I kind of handed it to you, didn't I? I said, right, Darren, you go away, you figure this game out, and I will happily play it. And
something, I don't know what happened, but something brutal bulldozed that.
Yeah, I think it might have been MCP.
I think it was MCP. It was like, right, yeah, because I took all the scenery.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to build it. I'm going to learn the rules, and like next week we'll have a game.
Yeah.
And then I got an email from James saying, "Do you want MCP?"
Yes.
Oh, no, I think I just came home and it was there.
Yes, that was right. Because I think I even said to you at the time, I was like, well, that's...
we've got to paint this.
Yeah, that's that then. But again, it's no shade on the game, but for us personally, it is a fail because I've got no real desire.
Yeah.
Now we've started Star Wars Legion Skirmish, which is a smaller version. It almost scratches that itch for me.
Yes.
So
and there is even a smaller version than that.
Yes, but I don't like the look of that. One's a bit weird. It's a bit, again,
I'd be tempted. Oh. Now you've got an elite army. Imagine like Gar Saxon and like 3.
You can't take Vader. Why would I want to play a game where I can't take Darth Vader? Shut down.
Fair point, really.
My only gripe. Yeah, so I'd say that's probably one of our fails on our part. Is Shatterpoint's kind of died.
I think like we said, it's a failing. Well, it's a failing of us, but this is our hobby fails. So,
yeah.
It is a failing.
So Shatterpoint, and I know like Miniac Scott, he's got well into Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
He's painted the Inquisitors up, and he's played it a few, and he loves it. So I'm like, it's definitely me. I'm not saying because the game must be good, but I just can't. I think as well, Legion's kind of skewed my view.
Second wind
because I'm like, I like Legion. I'm in Legion mode, but in Legion this works like this, but it doesn't do that. Yeah, but in Legion,
it's a completely different game. Pretend it's not even Star Wars.
But I can't help it because I just that's so again.
It might be a 2024 success, but it's a 2023.
You can't see me now, but I'm shaking my head. I know.
Oh, you can see.
Yeah, that'll be on eBay in the next few months. Another one on that kind of similar vein, which is kind of, it was a bit of a fart in the wind, wasn't it? Really, it kind of came and went before we even knew. But was Warcry.
It was a fart in the wind for you.
Yeah.
I spent about a month painting mine. you might have farted in the wind. But...
That makes a change. I'm always painting everything. Well, you did paint all your rebels. Shit. No. Yeah.
Although, for me, on our top 9 posts by likes, number 2 is the Chameleon Warband.
Yeah, but it's a great warband. But I was going to kind of...
Cool.
I was going to kind of back up your statements with that. It was a fart in the wind, but I don't really know why.
No.
Shatterpoint, I didn't like the rule system. The rule book was written wrong. And I was kind of in Legion. There was reasons why I found it hard to get into. But Warcry, I'm like...
I can see you arguing for us starting Warcry.
Yeah, I don't get why we didn't do it. Is there a reason? Is there anything that came? I think I didn't.
You weren't feeling the Jade Obelisk.
I wasn't feeling the Jade Obelisk, so I was like,
That was the catalyst for not smashing out. But I'll keep going back to it. But we didn't have a game, and I think that really is a big one.
But we've still got I've still got the book. But you can download the rules. Sorry, I've still got the game board out there, so we can still use that. The scenery has been repurposed for Ark World.
Yeah, but it doesn't look stupid.
No, you can still use it for Warcry. So it's not completely off the table, but it is a fail in this 2023. It is a fail.
It's a 2023 fail.
We didn't. It just kind of let's do Warcry. Again, it's one of those things. Maybe if I picked up a separate warband,
Cities of Sigmar. What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Cities of Sigmar, which you're desperate to paint, and it comes with dogs. You've let yourself down.
I have let myself down. I see myself out.
Get out of your own house.
Get out of my own house. Don't come back. While I'm out, can you paint my Darth Vader for me?
Which one? The broken one? Or...
you could rebuild his foot for me. So I wouldn't say that's off the cards maybe even next year, because I kind of feel like I don't really know why. But what I mean is I didn't like the particular warband I had, but it's not really a reason not to try it. And I did have, do you remember that game I had, that skirmish game, Bladeborn, the kind of game they released quickly?
I like that.
Yeah, and it's basically Warcry Light. So I'm almost like, why didn't we? Yeah. Bladeborn was a game that was released in the UK in game stores. It was basically like a board game version of Warcry.
Yeah.
Very small. you had like 2 or 3 war bands, and you just basically on a grid.
About 5 or 6 models in a war band.
It was a bit like Underworld's cross meets Warcry.
So sort of like Warcry, but half the models.
Yeah, on a grid board.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one that was a bit of a fail. I don't really know why we didn't go more into it, but I'm going to stop saying that because I feel like it was kind of my fault. So let's move on to something that was your fault, Darren. I'm going to say one word: Lumineth.
Yeah. So, is it a fail to buy 3,500 points of Lumineth with no real intention to paint them? Probably.
As I say, why are you asking?
Is it a fail to buy 3,500 points of Lumineth with no real intention to paint them? Probably.
As I say, why are you asking? Maybe give Age of Sigmar a go.
Yeah.
Darren has got about 1,500 points of Ogre Morg tribes.
Yeah.
Well, Beastclaw Raiders, but I think they've changed it a bit now because they've got a new battle type. Yeah. So I don't know how they work quite now because I'm kind of massively out of the loop of Age of Sigmar at the moment. But you had that, but you were always like, I love the Lumineth. I love them. I would love an army of them. I really want to get them. Blah, 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 blah. We're now in December and they're currently, partly on eBay, partly in the attic, partly... Pretty much all been sold.
Really? There's... don't know. Yeah, I've made a profit on what I spent on them because I suppose partly I got them cheap. Not that cheap.
Not cheap, but cheaper than,
so what I've sold so far, I've got my money back and I've probably still got some on there. So, but yeah, like it does hurt to sell them because I absolutely love Lumineth, but Lumineth for a person that doesn't have much time to paint are a very frustrating army to like.
Well, unless you go really basic on them,
but even then, they're quite.
Well, it's the GW curse, isn't it? The overly designed 14 leather pouches and there's 16 gems on his head. And you think, oh god.
Yeah, and they're just models that you want to do a good job on, and that's the issue. You know, there are armies where yes, they're detailed, but if you're painting Skaven, you know, you don't have like a burning desire to paint like immaculate Skaven. Whereas Lumineth, I mean, you might have a burning desire to paint Skaven, but you see what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're
saying. It's a horde army. You're not like, this needs to look beautiful. Whereas Lumineth they're royal. They're
they're elves.
Yeah,
it's that. I think it's that mindset again, though, isn't it? If you go into the Lumineth thinking I'm just going to do these basic and get them done, you can, but I think again it might say more about you than you want to do because you love the army so much. You love the idea of them being from this realm of light, being bright, colourful, elves. Like you said, almost royalty, kind of royal. You want them to look bright, colourful, really well done. So the thought of going, I'll just chuck some contrast paint on them, and you just like, no. If I'm doing the Lumineth,
doesn't appeal.
Yeah, if I'm doing Lumineth, they've got to be done stunningly.
Yeah.
And because you've realised I can't do it, I can't commit the time to it, especially now with Instagram. It's almost like you said, it's like there's no point. I might as well just...
Yeah, I think that it comes back to something we discussed before, but is done better than perfect? Yes, most of the time.
Yeah, but you want them perfect.
With Lumineth, to me, no.
Yeah, you want them perfect.
Yeah, I'd rather they not be done.
They're not
be done less than good enough.
They're not the army for you in terms of painting because you can't commit the time you want to do them.
Yeah, it might be that with Lumineth I shouldn't have gone all in. I should have gone
one unit.
I'm going to get one thing that I heard on a podcast was, if you want to do an army, get a hero and paint that, and then see what your motivation's like for doing the army. That will kind of tell you. That said, I did the Blade Lord from Mara's Purifiers.
Oh my gosh,
absolutely loved it.
She is stunning as well. The paint job of the face on that model is great. I love the way real kind of, you can tell the character in her face. She's kind of giving someone the shifty side eye, like, you're in trouble, mate. I've got my fucking great sword here and you're going to get it. Such a great model. And again, but I don't think you'd be able to maintain that level of quality over a 2,000 point army.
The annoying thing is for me is that I didn't then feel the need to maintain that quality even for the rest of my Ares Purifiers. You know, I'd love that warband. I absolutely love the models, all of them. They're brilliant. I have half painted the one with the bow, but and I don't often half paint anything. That's partly why I finished the Stormcast in the end. I don't like stuff half painted. I'm either gonna start it and finish it or not start it.
You don't look in my cup of tea.
Hence 3,000 points of grey.
You talking about Underworld's bit of a controversial, don't know if you're going to agree, but I almost feel like that's a bit of a hobby fail for us this year.
Yeah.
Warhammer Underworlds.
Yeah.
You know, we started the year strong on it. We painted.
Well, one thing from Underworlds is definitely a hobby fail.
We'll get to that bit in a minute, but yeah, like we started Warhammer Underworlds. We bought the card, we bought the core set, we bought extra war bands, we bought folders to put all the cards in so it's organised. We bought sleeves. We went, you know, balls deep.
Yeah.
This is going to be our skirmish board game. Yeah, we're going to do this. When did we play it last? Before the summer?
I feel like we've kind of got like an ADHD hobby block. You know, I think we do, if we do something, we do it to death.
Yes.
You know, and we obsess over it. Whereas I think if we're realistic, what we should do is have like a rota. We play Underworlds, then we play Legion, then we play something else, Arkwild. You know, rather than we really like Legion at the moment, Legion. You know, and then we don't play it for 6 months, and then we.
Well, Wednesday nights, and the time of recording, this is Wednesday. Wednesday nights are normally our gaming nights, and I know my brother is quite up for a game of Legion, but you and me have played it. Well, collectively, we played it for about the last month, haven't we? Every Wednesday, so I think we're a bit like no.
Yeah. Also, I think we're conscious of burning out. And yes. I think that's what I don't want to do. So I'm building the Super Commando list with Gar Saxon. You're doing Vader's Fist. You know, so, and I did say to you, I think last week, just be careful how many games you have with Vader's Fist, like not painted, because if you're not careful, by the time it's all painted, you'll be like, fucking I'm bored of this list. I've played it like 15 times. But that's why it's the same every time.
That's why I said you want to get a Dewback. Yeah. I want to get a few things I can switch in and out. But 2 for 0 at the moment anyway. Yeah. Just saying on the win. So I'll retire him now. Yeah, I've won 2 games, never playing it again. But yeah, talking about Underworlds and massive hobby fails. Let's the biggest hobby fail. Huge. It's almost like really you should probably get out of the room, to be honest, Aaron, because it's embarrassing. But would you say is your biggest hobby fail of the year?
Yeah, probably the Stormcast. Yeah. Bearing in mind I've just posted a reel of it, and
even that kind of sums up the success of that reel.
Yeah, I don't know why Instagram have tanked the reach of that, but
just makes me laugh because you've absolutely hated painting them. You've had nothing but a nightmare with them. You broke one in a video to show the cases off, and then you finally put the finished article up on our Instagram. Instagram absolutely fuck you over with it. It's like,
it's a brilliant reel as well.
Get the hint.
Don't I absolutely love that, and they look good.
Yeah, they do. They do. No, they look really good considering how much you disliked painting them.
Yes.
And how much trouble you had with them. Yeah. They look really good.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. It just makes me laugh that all that effort you went through to finally push through and get them done. And Instagram fuck you.
I wish I could give them another 5-10 hours, because I think they would look really good, but I honestly don't think it's worth my time. And they look good enough.
I don't want to attend your funeral
for a reel.
I don't want to. I want to go to the Games Expo next year with you. I don't want to have to be a coffee.
Yeah, I'm on my own this year.
Fine. Darren gouged his eyes out with his paintbrush trying to paint some Stormcast.
I'd say that was probably a fail, but mainly I would say it was for the gold, but I don't think it really was in the end. You know, the gold didn't go quite right on one of the models on the back, but
well, you'd already broke the staff on that one that you snapped in the reel. Yeah, but it was already broken.
Yeah, the flying one broke off the base.
You got them out to show me. look, Dickie, I finally finished them. And you open the case and they're, oh, this one's broken, this one's broken.
There was 2 brakes, I think.
Fucking hell.
What was the other brake? I can't remember. I think it was that. I think it was, one was broken off the base, one was, the staff was broken. Yeah, just annoying.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Stormcast either, so it was sort of like, that probably didn't help.
I thought of something else I would count as a bit of a fail, but on our hub, I know it's our hobby fails, but I think it's a self-inflicted fail, is our 90s Marine Challenge.
Yes.
And that's our own fault.
Yeah.
We took the brief a bit too literally, I think. Darren Latham's kind of little competition he did, can't remember when it was now, in the summer?
Yeah, like August.
And it was basically painted 90s Marine. We thought he meant, well, I personally thought the idea was you paint it in the 90s style.
Yeah.
But from what everyone else did online, they just got a 90s Marine and went
absolutely balls deep on it, which again would have been a great thing to do. And we're not, not bitter at not winning any awards, but I think it was a bit of a...
Oh, when you see the competition, there's no way we were going to win.
No, there's some stunning paint jobs, but I think we could have done something a bit more Sprue Goon.
Yes, we could have been a bit more crazy with it, maybe done something a bit funny, or maybe
graffitied one, or done something mad,
or even done it in the Sprue Goons colour scheme, black and white with an SG on the shoulder pad, something like that. Gone really made a point of Sprue Goons 90s Marine.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, we've let ourselves.
We could have done one with black and white, so black with like white trim, and you could have done white with black trim. Invert them in colours, bang next to each other.
I feel like we should do that as a service to ourselves.
See, in hindsight, that's what I mean. But I don't know about you personally, but I took the brief a bit too literally. Yeah. I thought he meant paint. He probably meant do it however you like, but I thought he meant paint it like it's from the 90s. So goblin green base, bright red colour. We did Spaceball, But then looking online on everyone else's entries, they did, loads of, non-metallic metals and, OSL and really, really crazy stuff. And I was like, oh dear. I think I've got this wrong.
Yeah.
We should have done that.
It is in our top 9. Yeah,
but it's because it's the 90s Marine. But
it's actually appears twice in the top 9.
Really? But I just think it's personally for me, that feels like a fail. I could have done... let yourself down a bit there.
I think we know we could have got at least a shout out, we're not.
But I wish we had done that with the Sprue Goons idea. It's literally just come to me now. That would be
next year.
Black and white, white and black. Yeah. I'd class that as a bit of a mistake on our part, a fail.
Yeah.
Anything else? Cool, we're really self-deprecating here, aren't we? We're bloody useless.
I don't think so. I think I've attended every show.
It's a fail on my part. I didn't go to every show. I know.
No. I mean, as a whole, I don't think we've kind of failed on shows. But Colours, maybe the one in Reading,
didn't even know it existed until.
No, and that's meant to be bigger than Warfare. Warfare's like, Warfare's bigger than it used to be. I heard someone say that. It used to be like the little brother to Colours. I'm like, hang on. But that's worth looking into maybe next year.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that until Alex at Warp Miniatures posted that he was at Colours. And then I think you messaged me like, yeah, what's Colours? Have you seen this? I was like, oh.
Yeah, and it was like in 2 days or something.
Yeah, so a bit late.
A bit late. Even Warfare was, I think I found out on the Monday. Yeah. It was in the weekend. And
and it was like, no chance.
I happened to be free, so,
Surprise, I didn't. But so, that's probably our fails this year. Feels like I've got more fails than highlights.
Even some of the highlights were fails.
Yeah. Oh dear. So I suppose the last quick thing we could go over quick is a few takeaways from 2023. Not literally like food. I mean things that we've done
that we'll take away.
Things that we've learnt from the year, I suppose, or things that we want to kind of
nutshell sort of lessons.
Yeah. So for me, the first one I'm going to go straight in on, which we've mentioned a few times before, is focus.
Yeah.
I feel like this year the focus has been great in places, but in general, especially from my personal point of view, I think it might go back to that thing of having a bit more free time than you.
Yeah.
Focus has been all over the place for me, and it annoys me. because I've got a friend, like I think I mentioned before, Gary, guy who got me into Warhammer in the first place. He's got about 8 or 9 fully painted Age of Sigmar armies. It's all he plays, it's all he paints, it's all he does, it's all he does. You know, and he's like, wow, I am genuinely,
tunnel vision.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that though.
Yeah.
I wish I could be like, no, all I do is this game. It's all I play, it's all I do. I can't and I never will, but I do feel like this year focus needs to improve. So moving forward, maybe when we do our next episode about 2024, I want focus to hopefully be better. You know, I'd rather say in 2024 we did 40k in Star Wars Legion and whatever, but they're the only 3 things we did all year.
Yeah.
There was no, I bought this random little model, I bought this, I did that, no. We did 3 or 4 systems all year.
Yeah, we did them really well.
Yeah, I did a bit of Legion, I did a bit of 40k, I did a bit of, you know, Ark World, and then I went back to it, and that's all I did all year. I just filtered between the 3. That said, we've got a bit of a nerd day today, haven't we? We're going to, after this, we're going to go get something to eat. We're going to go out and have a bit of a peruse around some nerdy local shops and things. And I don't know why, but I've already come up with the idea that I quite like to look into Blood Bowl. I don't even know why. I like the game, I like the models.
Yeah.
I've always liked the idea of it, but I quite like the idea of Blood Bowl 7s.
Yeah.
Which is like a shorter, quicker game.
I think that suits us more.
Yeah.
I think that's the appeal. If you were saying full Blood Bowl,
which takes up to 2.5, 3 hours, I've heard.
Yeah.
So it's like,
again, it is less models than most other systems, but it's still,
you're getting that GW good model fix. Plus the models are great. It's set in the old world, which for me kind of rubs that nostalgia kind of itch. Just, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I want, you know, so. But why? We don't need Blood Bowl. We've got so many other systems, but that's what I'm on about, the focus.
Yeah.
And you just saying about Warcry, you previously about why we don't have that. I'm almost thinking, yeah, maybe we should look at Warcry. You know, maybe that's worth doing. I'm like, so that's what I mean. The focus is all over. Maybe it's an ADHD thing. I don't know, but I need to, you know, the focus, I think, is definitely a takeaway that I've learned this year.
I think as well, I'm just thinking of, say you went out today and bought Blood Bowl team. How does that affect your focus of Vader's list?
Exactly.
Is it a case of, oh, fucking hell, now I want to paint the Blood Bowl team?
Yeah, this is what I mean. So it's almost like, do we just go out and get more Legion? Oh no. But we'll get nothing. Just have a wander around. But
that sounds that's a sensible option.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But again, you know, my argument with that, but Blood Bowl's only like going to be 8 models because you do 7s, you get less models to paint. You know, whereas I think full Blood Bowl's like
20. Yeah. I mean, you could. Thing is, with something like Blood Bowl, Underworlds, maybe even Warcry to a degree, you can, or something like Kill Team, you can kind of get away with it almost like as it's a bit of a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do... Yeah, I like the idea of Vader's Fist, but because the colour scheme's all the same, I don't want to sit there and smash out 500 points of Legion in this colour scheme. I want to get a Blood Bowl team. So I might do a unit of Stormtroopers, the 2 speeder bikes, a Blood Bowl team, Vader, another unit of Stormtroopers, you know. I
think you can have lots of different projects on the go, but like I said, as long as you're focused on those projects.
Yes.
So next year, we know 40k is going to be a thing. We want to give 40k a go next year, and if it's just the combat patrols, we want to do that.
Yeah.
Want to get my Vader's Fist list done for skirmish. That's 2 things.
Yeah.
And beyond that, to be honest, it's almost nothing really.
No, like you're saying about Blood Bowl, but it's not like I want a fully painted Blood Bowl team. You know, that's not.
No, I'd happily play that
unpainted.
We could try that unpainted.
Yeah.
You know, get the board. You have to buy a proper pitch for 7s.
Yeah, and again, that kind of leads smoothly into my takeaway, or one of my takeaways. And I know I've already mentioned it on this episode, but we need to, like, gaming does wonders for your motivation.
Yes.
For us.
Yeah.
That's our takeaway. I'm not saying that for everyone. I know people that don't even game at all. But I would say, even if you don't game at all, give it a go. Because I know we talked about it, on the last one, but you saying about, you know, if you'd have played Vader unpainted and he'd have smashed up 17 clones, like, that guy would be getting painted. You know, it does make you want to paint.
100%. But it also works the other way. If you put Ahsoka on, didn't you, in one game, and she did it. partly your fault, partly the game set up the mission you had, but she did nothing, and you were like, oh, you lost all motivation, you lost interest.
Yeah.
We played last time. She killed what?
Oh, she killed like
2 units of stormtroopers.
2/3 of your army.
Yeah, 2 speeders.
Yeah.
And you were like, fuck me, I got to paint her.
Yeah.
It does. It makes you, when you kind of almost you get attached to the character. Oh my god, I want to imagine that one painted.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, I do feel like it does help. But like you said, some people don't game at all, so maybe they wouldn't.
No.
But yeah, definitely, I would give it, if you can, give it a try, because I do think it does help with your painting.
Yeah.
To motivate you to do it.
I'd say another takeaway for me is, and again, I've kind of alluded to it in terms of maybe what my focus, talking of focus, will be in 2024, but really like drilling down and focusing on creating some like structured tutorials and things like that, because that seems to be the content that people really resonate with, and does well, and Instagram likes to push out. So I think you're almost kind of like nerfing yourself by not doing those kind of tutorials, and again, it comes back to you can post a picture, a cool reel of Stormcast and put a funny soundtrack on it and stuff like that, but it's not really helping anyone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to look at, and people might think, oh, that's cool, I might show my mate that, but you don't. I think it's a case of having a balance between that sort of content, the bits from the podcast, and value that you're giving someone. So they're following you for, oh yeah, Sprue Goons, they did this thing with like wooden boards where you just basically use one contrast paint and then finger dab it and you're done. Like, that's more valuable than, oh yeah, they paint pretty well.
I think, like for instance, like you said, like with the Saruman that I painted, and you even said to me, I really hope the finger dabbing thing doesn't do better than Saruman. Yeah. Because I know the effort you put in, but
and it smashed the life out of it.
Yeah, but I think that's understandable, because like you said, people resonate with that. It's an easy, simple technique that I can do. Yeah. Someone will look at Saruman. I'm not, like I say, I'm not saying the best painter in the world. There's thousands of painters better than me, but someone will look at that Saruman and go, "Cool, yeah, that's cool." Like, forget about it. Yeah. Whereas like your tutorial, people are like, oh my god, that's so clever. I'm going to save that. I'm going to show someone that, because they were asking about how to do.
And it's so universal, and it's wooden boards.
Yeah, so it can be used for anything.
Yeah, but I suppose that's kind of that's a takeaway for me in terms of what people want to see. And I think the good thing about Instagram and learning what people want to see, because ultimately that's the reason for having a channel maybe like ours, is to kind of add value and give kind of people what they want to see to a degree. You don't want to kind of become a slave to what everyone wants, but there's a balance. I think you'd be silly to keep posting stuff that everyone doesn't want. So for example, when we did MCP, it was a great project that we did with AMG, and we really enjoyed it, but I did see our engagement drop, because ultimately, I know we've discussed it before, but there are parts of my opinion that are Warhammer is the hobby. Yeah. And I think you really feel that when you spam something like Marvel Crisis Protocol, and people just almost disengage.
Mm-hmm. Which again is frustrating for me, because I'd almost say, again, I kind of wish I was in that GW bubble. Yeah. I wish I was like, oh, GW is amazing. Yeah. I'm not saying they're not. No. Mate, they do amazing models. They do do good games.
But you've been in the bubble.
I've been well in the bubble.
Yeah.
I might get back in the bubble when the old world comes out next year.
Here we go.
Again, that might be a spanner, because although
let's keep that quiet.
Let's be brutally honest though. Sorry, GW, but you're going to overprice it. Yeah. It's going to be too expensive. It's going to be probably not supported brilliantly, and the game probably won't be as good as it used to be.
Tomb Kings though.
Yeah, but look at that derpy dragon.
The crocodile
dragon thing. What is that? But yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but I feel it won't be supported very well, and I feel it will be too expensive. And especially if they're going to bring out the old Bretonian sculpts from like when I was, 16, so 23 years ago. Yeah. and they're going to try and charge you £35-40 for a box of models that are like 30 years old or whatever it is, 25 years old. No, I just won't buy it. No, I'm not buying them. No, I'm not giving you today's prices for models that are...
They do look cool though.
Yeah. You fucking shill. But yeah, I think also going on to the terms of Instagram, I'll have a quick takeaway because we're kind of rambling on a bit now, but I think, again, it's not that we're after that kind of validation, but it does make you realise we're not awful painters.
Yeah, I think so. I think at the start it was like, we put a couple of photos up and we think we paint all right.
Yeah, but...
and then, I don't know, I guess, you get good comments and like decent feedback and you do think like, actually we're not that bad.
Yeah, it's like, my fishing goblin, Louise, the lady, runs the Rogue Hobbies. She made the model. She runs a YouTube channel. She's a much better painter than I'll ever be. And she's commenting and saying, "Oh my God, that is amazing." When you think, what?
Yeah, it gives you motivation to carry on and like continue to improve as well, because I know we talked last time about, improving and kind of steps on how to improve. But I guess you do get to a point, like yourself, where you've been doing it for a long time, where you don't hit a ceiling, but almost like you get to a level where you don't feel like you need to improve. So when you get people commenting like, "Oh yeah, that's really good," it almost like makes you want to be even better. Or like start doing competitions, which then does make you look for ways to improve, like you said about looking into colour theory and things like that. There are different ways you can improve rather than just getting your blends smoother or just doing
although that doesn't hurt, but But I think that's pretty much kind of our 2023 in a nutshell. I think
2023 wrapped.
2023 wrapped. So okay, guys. So it's time for Paint Grey eBay. I think we do a bit of a Christmas special this year. You stupid mug.
We're going to have Christmas this year, guys.
Right.
It's going to be December.
Christmas themed one. God's sake, Christmas themed Paint Grey eBay. But we're going to do it a little bit. We've decided amongst ourselves, had a bit of a managers meeting in between takes, and we've decided that we're going to slightly change how Paint Grey eBay works. Before, we would both look at some models and decide collectively together which we paint grey and eBay. Now we're almost going to change it slightly. Well, not almost. We are going to change it completely. That you have to paint one.
Yeah.
You have to eBay one, and you have to leave one grey.
Yeah.
And we'll do our own. We'll do our own version of it.
Yeah, it'll be the same 3 models, but we'll
kind of make it a bit more kind of a bit more decisive than that'll straddle. No.
Nothing straddling.
Nothing straddle. No, you paint it, you leave it grey, or you eBay it. So it's going to be a bit of a Christmas theme one, like I said. So we're going to start off with. I think we will start off with Father Griffmas. He's basically from Arc World. Again, one of my favourite style of models. So this one's a bit of a, but it's basically Alex's take on Father Christmas for his Fantasy World Arc World. It's absolutely,
I love it.
I love it. Absolutely brilliant model. It's got a little griffin on his shoulder, an axe, a satyr. Oh, it's great. It's almost. I'm looking at it now. I'm thinking, why have I not bought this yet?
Why have you not bought that?
Because it looks absolutely brilliant. So that's the first one, Father Christmas. Second one is the Gloomspite Gits Grotmus Squig. So it's their Christmas squig. He's a little night goblin. He's riding a squig with a mouthful of presents. Absolutely brilliant. Again, brilliant model.
Yeah, I love it.
And the third one, which hurts me a bit, but it's AMG's Shatterpoint. Speaking of Shatterpoint, they're what was your little pun you come up with?
Yeah, well, it's not really Christmas related, is it?
No.
But I was thinking the best I could come up with was "I am your father, Christmas."
Oh, the cringe. Is the Darth Vader, the new pose for his squad in Shatterpoint. It has got an official name, but I can't remember what it is. But it's just basically Darth Vader and 3 stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So, would you like to go first, sir, or do you want me to go first? You go first. Okay, so Father Christmas. I am your Father Christmas, Vader.
I've got a feeling how's it going to be the same on this one.
or Gloomspite Gits Grotmus Squig. So which one are you going to paint?
I would paint Alex's Father Christmas.
Yeah.
That is absolutely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, for me, I know you're massively into Artworld style and you've painted a lot of it, but for me, I've not painted.
No, you haven't, have you?
Any Artworld, and I love the idea of painting it. So, and that model is, I absolutely love it.
I think he's got rules as well.
Bags of character.
Oh, massive! But that's what I love about Alex's sculpts. They've always got so much character. Like his Patreon gnomes he's running at the moment in the army. I've said before, I have no use for them. I don't know what game I'd use them in. I don't know what I'd do with them, but I want the whole army just for the character of them.
Yeah.
So then you've got, let's go for the Gloomspite Gits, Grotmus Squig. Leave Grey, okay. Because I think we both kind of...
Yeah, and this is a bit of a weird one. It's not Vader, and again, we don't really like to damn any model company really, because we know how much effort goes into sculpting models, but it looks like a beetle taking off.
Yeah, his cape. So I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it's Darth Vader. He's like stepping forward, 2 hands on his lightsaber. He looks like he's about to swing and hurt something. He looks aggressive. Vader himself, and even his undercloak, he's like a bit around his waist, looks great.
Yeah.
He looks brilliant, but what is going on with the cape?
Yeah.
It looks like he's got a wind machine behind him that's blowing his cape up.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the flow of the model. If he was jumping or running forward or something, it would look okay, but it looks like, what I said it looked like is the Marilyn Monroe famous picture where she's pushing her skirt down and the skirt's blowing up from the wind underneath it. It looks like that.
Looks artificially. And also what I'd say is it doesn't look like cloth. It looks like, I don't know, like a shell or something.
Or like a beetle taking off, like you said. But and then you know me, I love Darth Vader. I've painted now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it'll be my 5th Darth Vader model I've painted, and I love Darth Vader in the game. I love the story of the character in Star Wars lore. Everything about the character I absolutely love, and yet this model is not very good because of that cape. If again, it might be the angle it's taken at, but I've even tried to look for a different angled version, and even now it just almost looks worse at this angle. It looks like
It looks a lot worse. Like a bat.
So I think again, boring. Yeah, we're gonna make it more decisive, but I think this week we completely agree. I would paint Father Christmas from Arcworld. I would leave grey the Gloomspite Gits and Christmas Squig. Not because there's anything particularly wrong with it, but I just prefer the Father Christmas. And I'd have to eBay that Vader. Which says, this is why I don't like Shatterpoint. This is why it's got to be sold on, because you look at that.
You're eBaying Vader, something's wrong.
Yeah. If I'm eBaying Vader, then you know you fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
this week, sorry. Oh, there's a picture of someone asleep. So this week, again, bit boring, but we agree, I think.
Yeah.
Paint Arcworld, leave grey the Warhammer Gits Squig, and sorry, Mr. Vader, but you're going to eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The force is not with you.
The force is not strong with you. You have failed me for the last time, AMG.
Hang on. So I think that kind of wraps our episode up.
Yeah.
So we won't have another episode before Christmas, so happy Christmas, guys.
Have a good Christmas, everyone. Hope you get what you want.
Thanks so much for all your support this year, and good luck to the giveaway entrance.
Or congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
Because by the time this goes out, it'll been done. So congratulations, winner.
Congratulations. You will have a combat patrol on its way to you as we speak.
Yeah. This goes out on the Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be hopefully posted out by then.
Yeah, I mean, it will have been ordered, so...
Yeah. Are you going to get it or just, depends
order on Sunday.
Obviously, if they're in America, it's going to cost you a bit more to get it posted over, but...
Yeah, or I can order it from their local store.
Yeah, good point. You think of everything.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, have a good Christmas, guys, and we'll speak to you in the new year.
Yeah. See you later.